Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you all the witnesses coming out today, and I'm just so grateful. I think it's appalling that the CCP refuses to call Russia's recent actions an invasion, and it is also appalling that Chairman Xi Jinping is standing with Putin. Add this to long list of actions by CCP to cheat and abuse the global rules-based system and another example of their human rights atrocities. As we speak, the CCP still limit women's access to leadership positions and is virtually run and controlled by men. The CCP steals large volumes of information and censors its own people and information. The recent video of a chained mother of 8 and the censorship of those who posted about it in China and sought additional information is horrific examples of the CCP's ongoing abuse of its citizens. A study by Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health and the Kachin Women's Association Thailand estimated that about 21,000 women and girls from northern Myanmar were forced into marriage in just one province in China from 2013 to 2017. The United States must stand and fight for the women and girls of China who are being oppressed and prosecuted by CCP. Women should not be prosecuted for speaking out against human rights abuses. Having said that, to all the witnesses, anybody wants to answer, please help me to answer this. My first question is, China's labor force is declining. Decades-long birth policies that we've been talking about today, and its aging politician will weigh on its economy. The CCP allows for gender inequality in education and health. What can the United States and major companies do to give these women voices and equality? And any witnesses?
I'll take a first stab at that. One of my great frustrations in just observing the international response to abuses by the Chinese government is that all of these multinational corporations seem to only be thinking about their bottom line. And so I don't know what the US government can do to affect the stance of these kinds of corporations or international organizations like the International Olympic Committee, for example, perhaps go through the United Nations. But of course, you know, the US government can come up with certain policies, perhaps sanctions, but I see those as having somewhat limited impact when you have so many American corporations that simply don't care about doing the right thing. So this is a very tricky question. And I don't know who else wants to jump in.
Actually, I sent a letter out with 17 other Congress members during, right before the Olympic, asked all these corporations, they're spending billions of dollars on advertising, and I asked them to spend just a little bit more, let the whole world know that human rights violation in China, that's what's happening. And I didn't get any responses from these 17 corporations. I was very, very disappointed. So if anybody wants to answer, that's good. But I can go into...
I can jump into one here very briefly here. Sure. I think this is one possibility of a sort of a very simple request and possibly doable. U.S. companies do a lot of business in China, as we know. U.S. companies partner with Chinese companies. I think one good ask is to ask them to stop participating in these discriminatory workplace practices against women in China, who make up quite a significant amount of their workforce and their employees, either by contract or through their partnerships. That is something that we can ask and we can push for, that I think that that would make sense for U.S. companies. Ask that.
Thank you. Thank you for that answer. And my second question is, after the events of tennis star Peng Shuai, waiver, Chinese women must be more fearful than ever about speaking out against the abuses. What is moral and day-to-day life in long-term moral for women in China? And what is moral and day-to-day life and long-term moral for women in China?
Demek onun hazırkı sualыңlarga cevap bergin ba. Men
I would like to answer your previous question. I'm sorry, I was a bit late.
bulamdı.
Go ahead. Thank you.
Nimo hazır biz bulup mecburi emgekке bizning Uyg'urlarning aş lagerdan ip ketip atganda men aş öz gözüm bilen köygen bulup hazır davamlaşıp atıdı. Mening Amerika hökümetiga deydiganim çokum şunu birinci to'xtatish kerak. Faqat hazır chiqarib qo'ygan qonunni hech qachon Xitoy uni ilk ag'ini yo'q, hech qachon to'xtatgani yo'q, yana davomlashtirib atıdı. Men ishni men Amerika hökümeti uni çokum to'xtatmaydi, desa to'xtata oladi. Bir işten onu men bugün şunu diyeyim ba Amerika hökümetiga hazır 6 yıl boldu biz qaqşabatımız, davatımız çokum biz üçün haqiqiy bir iş qilishinglarni umid qilmay. Chunki qo'linglardan keladi. O'z vaqtida sizlar Avrabiya qadrini qutuldirib chiqdinglar shu yerdan. Shunga chiqib bütün Uyg'urlar biladi sizlarning bu yerda qo'linglardan bir haqiqiy Xitoyga bir ishni qila oladiganlarga, ularga kuchinglarni yetib sizlar shu chaqda men hozir 6 yilning yaqinini bo'layotgan qirg'inchilikni Xitoy to'xtatib qo'ygani yo'q. Sizlarni davatgan qonunlarni hech qachon u yana ilk olmayotdi, qig'liqni qilyotdi, yana majburiy emgakka ishlatyotdi. Uyg'urlarni yana o'xshashlik qirg'inchilik qilyotdi. Shuning uchun sizlar amaliy bir ish qilishinglarni umid qilmay, Amerika hukumatiga men hayron qilyapman. Ya qilinglar kelmayotamdi, men ba'zi shuni o'ylabmi qolmay. Ya kuchinglar yetidi, yetib turib qilmayotgandek his qilib qolmay ba'zi rasman o'zim shaxsiy bir o'zimning shu fikrim qalamga ba'zida ashta keldi. Men Xitoyda tug'an vaqtimda ashta o'ylaydim. Çünkü Amerika'nın qanchalik kuchliligini bilamiz biladi bütün Uyg'urlar. Çünkü sizlar o'z vaqtida Ashrabiyani qadrini qutuldirgan, Qozog'istonda meni qutuldirib kelgan qanchalik odamlarni qutuldiryapsizlar. Sizlar kishilik huquqda birinchi o'rinda turibsizlar.
I just would like to answer the previous question. The forced labor issue, the forced labor in Uyghur region is still continuing. Many the detainees from the camps, concentration camps, now move it to factories to work as a cheap labor. So it is still continuing. I really wish that U.S. government do something to stop it, implement the End Forced Labor Policy Act, and just to do take practical action. I believe the power of America because the Uyghurs are really believe in the power, the ability that America can do. We deeply believe in because previously the U.S. government were able to save Ms. Rabia Kadir from jail and brought her to America. And the later person like myself, I was saved by the America as well. And I was able to live from the concentration camps, and through Kazakhstan, I came to the United States as well. All of the Uyghur people are deeply believe in if American government wants to do something, they are able to do so. So that's our hope. I mean, sometimes I really think that it's been 6 years that we've been talking about the genocide is happening in Uyghur region, and we keep talking about it's already there. And just a personal hope, that personal wish, the Americas should take action and stop the genocide and stop the forced labor in Uyghur region.